January 25th, Jim Shoemaker. Welcome to 365 Christian Men, where every day we aim to inspire and encourage with real-life stories about men. Jim is a plumber, a man with a skill. The official line is that plumbers typically work a regular 8 to 10-hour shift, but there are always emergencies and urgencies that make weekend and evening work necessary. Jim is a busy plumber, but he has a skill, and he knows how to use it to serve Christ. Listen to this.
When opportunity knocks, step up. Jim was one of 2 plumbers in the area, and as usual, he was swamped with work. But when he heard an elderly couple were hauling water from the church, he decided it was time for a visit. Jim had met the couple. The man had severe chronic obstructive pulmonary disease known as COPD. And his wife had spent her days taking care of him. Their only income was a small disability check. When he sat with them in their living room, Jim said, "We've missed you at Sunday services. I wanted to come by and check on you and let you know that you have been missed." Jim continued, "I couldn't help but see the water jugs on the counter. Are you having water problems?" The man explained that a winter storm had frozen their water pipes. They burst and the water heater element had burned out. The elderly man told Jim that they had hired a plumber to do the work and he promised a good deal on the labor, but he had asked for the money in advance. They gave him their last penny, but he skipped town the same day. The elderly man said he knew better than to pay the repairman in advance, but they were in such a desperate situation, he had ignored his better judgment. Jim's anger burned. How could anyone be so heartless as to take advantage of an elderly couple struggling to make ends meet? Jim said, "I'd like to check the pipes and see exactly what's needed to make the repairs. I already know where I can get a good deal on a water heater." The man began to shake his head. But Jim said, "I will not take no for an answer. The Lord has blessed me so I can be a blessing to others." But the man replied, "What will your wife say? We don't want to cause trouble for you at home." Jim knew from similar situations his wife Pat would support whatever they decided to do to help the couple. Jim was so adamant the man and his wife realized it was pointless to argue with him. Jim worked 4 12-hour days and finished the job. He salvaged what he could of the old pipes and was able to get a used water heater for $300. When Jim was done, he praised God for giving him the ability and financial means to help others who weren't so fortunate as he. He then told the man's wife the job was finished and she could turn the water on. Her eyes filled with tears, but this time they were tears of joy. As Jim got into his car to leave, the man hollered, "Brother Jim, we will see you at church this Sunday." Jim waved and drove off. Later, the pastor phoned and said the church would pay the bill. That didn't sit right. The bill would have to go to some committee and be voted on by the congregation. The whole church would know Jim's friend's business. Jim let the pastor know he wouldn't be delivering a bill. This was a private matter, and it was done. The Bible tells us in 1 John chapter 3, verse 17, "If anyone has material possessions and sees a brother or sister in need, but has no pity on them, how can the love of God be in that person?" Your skill is a God-given resource. Be ready to use it. When opportunity knocks, step up.
What a great story. It's about Joe Shoemaker. Today's January 25th, and I'm Tony Johnson. And I just want to welcome you to 365 Christian Men, an incredible ministry. And I thank God that I can be a part of it. Joe is a kind of a guy that I can really relate to. He's a skilled plumber. I'm not a plumber, but I've been a mechanic my whole life. And like Joe, I've given away my share of work. But this story here, it spurred something up in me I hadn't thought about in a long time. And I'd like to share that with you. The best way to minister to people, the best way to bring people to Jesus Christ or closer to Jesus Christ is pour your life into them. And it's like the scripture says in 1 John, it says, "Dear children, let us not love with words or speech, but with action and truth. And I think that goes a lot further. I think it was Spurgeon that said one time, preach the gospel all the time, and when necessary, use words. I think our sharing our skills and our sharing our love by giving to people is the greatest gift that we can give. And it's the way we can get straight to people's hearts. You know, I'm getting a little older in age. It's hard for me to get down, and I need to get some work done on my car. And one of the young guys from church had me come over, and he could crawl under it and do stuff. And it just blessed me that he was willing to do that. And you know, we spurred up quite a relationship. So, you know, it's doing things for people is the gospel that people don't realize. You know, we can share the gospel by just being there and doing things and just pouring our love in that way. You don't even have to say a word. You don't have to say anything about God. You don't have to say anything about church. And I found out, you know, when you're doing good things or nice things for people, a lot of times they turn around and say, why are you doing this? What are you doing here? Or do you go to church? Or are you a Christian? Or what's going on here? And it opens the door wide open for you to say, yeah, you know, Jesus Christ has changed my life. And I'd like to tell you how he did that. The gospel, it's not just for preachers. It's for you and I, guys. The regular run-of-the-road guy. And so, you know, as you're working, as you're doing your daily thing, keep that in the back of your mind. That God can use you right where you're at to spread the gospel. And I'm so thankful for you that you're looking at this. You're willing to think about, yeah, maybe stepping out a little bit for the Lord, because little by little, that's what we need to do, is step out for the Lord.
Before we go, quick note: we're launching a women's storytelling channel in January. Same style as this, just from a woman's perspective. If you know someone in your life who'd enjoy these stories, it's linked in the bio.